I'd love to share with you how to make these delicious gourmet chocolate cupcakes. And it really doesn't take that long, but they look beautiful and they taste delicious. Join me. And let's get started. We're going to start off by sifting all of our dry ingredients. I'm going to put the flour in first. Next, the cocoa powder and the baking soda. Now, a couple of reasons for sifting these dry ingredients. You don't want any lumps in the cupcakes. So we're going to sift all of these ingredients first. We do not add the sugar or the salt to this because those granules are much bigger than the fine grains of the cocoa powder and the flour. Now we're going to start on our wet ingredients. First and foremost, if you don't have buttermilk, you're going to take your milk and add your vinegar to your milk and let that sit while you're adding all the other ingredients. Start off with your big ingredients. So sugar goes right into the bowl. Next, I'm going to add the oil, egg, vanilla. Whether you use real vanilla or the artificial vanilla in this particular recipe doesn't make much of a difference. You can either use espresso powder or you can use just coffee, instant coffee. And last but not least, we're going to put some salt in there. Salt really brings out the flavor of the chocolate. Now it's time to whisk. It looks like a hot mess at the moment, but just keep at it. You can't overmix this amount of ingredients or these particular ingredients. So keep at it until you don't see any of the granules of the coffee. You want them all dissolved within this mixture. You can see it already starting to come together, and you're seeing fewer and fewer of the coffee particles. When you've got it to this point, you still see a few particles, but the mixture is good. We're ready for the buttermilk or the milk with the vinegar, whichever you want to call it. Milk might look like it's curdling. That's exactly what you want it to do. It's time to pour the milk into this mixture and give it a good whisk. Be gentle though, because as soon as you put that milk in, it starts to splatter everywhere. So start whisking gently and then work your way up. You can keep whisking this. Don't worry about the little pieces that you're seeing because the last ingredient that we add to this entire mixture is half a cup of boiling water, and that is going to take care of these little bits and pieces. We're adding the dry ingredients, our cocoa powder, baking powder, and the flour that we sifted. So it's going to be well combined. Sifting also helps combine all of these ingredients. That goes straight into the mixture. And again, same thing as with the milk. You want to whisk this slowly to begin because it is going to go everywhere. You can see that I'm whisking it slowly, pulling from up downwards just to get the dry ingredients incorporated in slowly but carefully so that it doesn't go everywhere. And just a whisk in the center and then pull back through the sides and whisk into the center. Now we're going to add the boiling water. So remember, it's really hot and you don't want to pour it right into the center. So what I try and do is pour it along the sides so that I'm collecting all those bits and pieces on the sides as well. Continue pouring slowly along the sides and you can grab some of that stuff that's caught on the sides. Now when you're stirring it, remember it is extremely warm. So just stir gently and slowly. It is going to look like a hot chocolate soup. That's exactly what you're looking for. It's looking pretty good now. I don't have many lumps and bumps. This is the consistency that you're looking for. It might seem a little bit loose. That's okay. It's really going to firm up. And we want it this loose because we want those cupcakes to be extremely moist. One of the reasons I love using a glass bowl is you can just look underneath and see that all the dry ingredients are incorporated in. Once in a while, you have a few bits and pieces stuck to the bottom, but in this case, we're doing a good job. In this video, I'm all about giving you tips and tricks to make sure that all of your cupcakes come out moist, beautiful, delicious, and not burnt. So another tip is to make sure that these go into the oven when the oven has reached 350. If you put them in ahead of that, they're just not going to come out right. Tip number 2 is to ensure that an equal amount of batter is put into each cup. So you use a measuring vessel so that each of these cupcakes has an equal amount of batter, ensuring that they all cook at the same rate. I'm using a scooper and I put 1 full scoop into each cup. Because we use a scooper, you can tell that they're all even, more or less. And if you have one that has a little bit less, just top it up. Again, you want them to be as even as possible. So we've scooped out all the cupcakes. This is going into the preheated oven for the prescribed amount of time. Just make sure that your oven's calibrated. For cupcakes, it's really important that you have it on bake also, not convection. You want it on bake. 18 minutes and they are ready. This is what you're looking for. You certainly don't want them to get overdone or get burnt on the bottom. So come on in closer. I'm going to show you what I was looking for. I just pressed down one gently and it bounces right back up. There's no jiggle. That means they're done. But I'm not going to leave it in this tray because this tray is going to continue to cook them. You want to take them out of the tray. Now the problem with this is that you have to let them cool before we decorate them. And this is where we're going to elevate them to the next level. We're also going to put a delicious caramel sauce to the middle. Now the problem with this is that they smell absolutely delicious. So count how many you have because you may not have the same amount to decorate. Time to make our ganache. I've got my chocolate chips in the bowl and I'm going to add just a pinch of ancho powder. I've heated up my cream 35%. You don't want the 18 or the 10. You want the 35% because we're going to whip this later. You can heat it up in the microwave. Add that straight on top of your chocolate chips. It's not going to look like much at the beginning. Come on in closer and I'm going to show you what we're going to do to this. Just looks like chocolate chips in a bath of cream. And as you continue to mix the two together, they begin to combine and create a beautiful ganache. Continue to mix for about 30 to 60 seconds, and then you're going to let it cool once it's completely mixed. It's beginning to transform, and they're beginning to melt into each other and look just beautiful. Keep on mixing until all the chocolate chips have melted right into the cream. If by chance you feel like the mixture is not warm enough, throw it in the microwave for 20 seconds and continue to mix. So we've gotten from it looking like a chocolate soup to a chocolate sauce, and it's starting to harden a little bit. That's what we want. But if you haven't got all your chocolate chips melted, again, put it in the microwave for 20 seconds or so because you really want them all to melt. I threw it into the microwave for another 20 seconds. The chocolate chips that were being stubborn, not melting, are now melting away. I'm getting a much smoother consistency. Once I feel like the chips have completely melted, it's actually bizarre, but I have to cool it down at that point. Now it's pretty smooth. It's ready to cool down, and then we're going to whip it, and this is going to be our icing. To cool this down, I'm going to put a layer of saran right on top, and it's going to go into the fridge for about 20 minutes or so. A decadent cupcake has a bit of a filling, so a shortcut. Usually I put dulce de leche in the middle, but today I'm going to show you a quick and easy but delicious shortcut. I've got these salted caramel chips. To that, I'm going to add some heated up cream, 35%, and this is going to be our filling. Pour that heated up cream right over top. I just heated it up in the microwave, and I'm going to stir it until it gets nice and melted and smooth. Stir it very slowly because at the beginning it won't melt just quite as quickly as the chocolate chips do. So if you have to put it back into the microwave for 10-20 seconds, please do so. But don't put it for longer than that at any given time. Just keep working it. We're going to keep working these salted caramel chips, and they smell absolutely delicious. But more importantly, they're really starting to melt and meld into the cream. We want a consistency that is not too watery, but also not too hard, because this is going to go right into the middle of our cupcakes. When it starts melding together, you'll see that the color is changing, the texture is changing, and you won't have any of the pieces of the chips of the salted caramel. Now that it's completely melted, more or less, we're going to put it aside so that it hardens just a little bit. In the meantime, we're going to start carving out our cupcakes. An easy way to scoop out the middle is to use a teaspoon measuring device and just scoop it on all sides. Don't worry if it's a little bit messy. And just take that middle out and put it right on the side because you're going to put it back on the top. Now that we've got the centers all dug out, it's time to add that salted caramel sauce right in the middle. Our sauce is going to keep these cupcakes moist. Now it's time to add those tops right back on and just hide our little secret. There we go. It doesn't matter if it looks a little bit messy now because that ganache is going to go right on top and make it look so pretty. Ganache is ready. As you can see, it's holding its shape. That's really the point that you want to start working with it. It's time to put it in the piping bag. Working with chocolate is sometimes a little bit messy, but come on in close. I'm going to show you how I fill up the bag and how stiff that chocolate ganache is. When you've got it cupped, the bag cupped around your hand, you make much smaller of a mess. So just pipe one round of the ganache around. That's all you want. It's time to decorate, and you can buy these embellishments at the grocery store, so you can make them look absolutely gourmet. Simply add in a few embellishments. It takes it to the next level. Come on in closer. I'm going to show you what I mean. We're going to put a chocolate wafer right in the corner. Another little wafer. Some chocolate on the side. And chocolate goes beautifully with raspberries. Does that not look delicious? Our naked chocolate cupcakes are now all dressed, ready to serve with a beautiful salted caramel center and these beautiful embellishments. Who can resist this? To make a gourmet dessert at home doesn't take a whole lot of time, but you can do so much more at home and you have so much more control. Subscribe to my channel for more easy, delicious recipes, and I can promise you that these are going to disappear in an hour. I look forward to seeing you soon. Please tell your family and friends about our channel. Take care and have an awesome day.